from Force 13 HQ. This is April 14th, 2017. Here's your tropical weather bulletin. Yes, it's good to be back. 14th of April 2017. We have 3 invests active, no active cyclones, however, but that may change over the coming days if some models are to be believed. So right now we have these 3 systems all in the eastern hemisphere, either side of the equator: 92B in the Indian Ocean, 92W in the western Pacific, 96S near Australia. We're going to take a look at 92W though, our main feature tonight, with winds of 25 miles an hour and a ground pressure of 1004 millibars. Last time we checked it was 9.9 north, 130.9 degrees east. No warnings are yet in effect from this system. The information might be slightly out of date since this is the debut tropical weather bulletin for 2017 and we've been spending quite a lot of time actually preparing it. So this is somewhat experimental. But the system is expected to move towards the west over the Philippines, probably as a tropical depression, could develop into a weak tropical storm over the next 2 or 3 days, and then weakening again on the other side of the Philippines after passing through the Visayas region and through Palawan and out towards the South China Sea, where it's expected to stall. So let's take a look around the world. The Atlantic Ocean currently has that little feature there, and off to the northeast of the Bahamas, it's just a swirl at this point, but who knows what may happen, though I do think it is far too early for any tropical discussion for the Atlantic. East Pacific likewise, you can see there it's an absolute graveyard over in the eastern Pacific right now. Nothing going on there, not too much even going on along the coastal areas of Mexico or Hawaii in terms of precipitation, pretty dry. The West Pacific, of course, we've got 92W, nothing else as you'd expect, of course, but there you can see the system in the wider context moving towards the Philippines. They'll start feeling the effects of that system pretty soon in the form of rainfall. Then looking at the Australian region and the South Pacific, you can see pretty quiet right now as well. The remnants of Cook there, you can see Tropical Cyclone Cook affecting the southern part of New Zealand now, moving towards the south. Rainy day over there and windy. The Indian Ocean, you can see a swirl going on there. That's 92B moving off towards the north slightly. Could develop in the next few days. We'll be watching that one closely too. Sea surface temperatures, here they are around the world. The eastern Pacific area pretty warm, that El Nino feature in the east, but still cool in the central part of the Pacific. The Atlantic there's pretty warm, warming up nicely, but the Gulf of Mexico is still pretty cool at this time. There's the Indian Ocean as a whole, very warm on the whole, particularly the North Indian Ocean there, though very warm temperatures around 30 plus. Off the coast of Australia where 96S is pretty warm there as well. Near the Philippines could be a bit warmer, but 92W isn't going to have too many complaints as it moves towards the Philippines. Here it is on the floaters, moving slowly towards the west, could develop, certainly not looking too bad at this point. Perhaps could be an argument for it being called a depression very soon indeed. But right now it's still an invest, a fairly potent one at that, and it's probably going to deliver some significant rainfall to the Philippines. Whether or not it gets named, it's looking pretty likely that it will at least get a name from PAGASA, the Philippine agency, which also names storms, but the official naming agency is the Japanese Meteorological Agency. There's Invest 92B, located in the central Bay of Bengal. Pretty large system, large influence from this one to the north especially. You can see some significant rainfall, convective bands moving off towards the north, but the centre of the system remains still pretty exposed, and some way to go for this system to become a actual fully fledged tropical cyclone. So that's not going to develop in the next few hours. We're talking maybe a day or two at the minimum if that system does indeed form. But there it is, churning up the Bay of Bengal, and no doubt will probably deliver some rainfall along some of those coastal areas of India, perhaps Bangladesh later on. Invest 96S, there it is, moving off the coast of Australia. They had high hopes not too long ago, a few days ago, as it was moving through the Northern Territory and Western Australia, but now it's hardly anything left of it, not particularly dignified of it. But there it is, moving off towards the west slowly, doing hardly anything at this point. And we don't expect that will now develop into a tropical cyclone. At least it doesn't look like it's going to do so. Not too much to say about that storm, not really delivering many conditions to Australia anymore. That's 96S. So let's take a look at the numbers. 2017 compared so far. Updated numbers: 1 depression, 8 tropical storms, 2 category 1s, 1 cat 2, 1 3, 1 4 and 1 5. Compared to those averages from 1960 to 2016, there's still a long way to go yet, but still every shout that 2017 will get close to those averages despite its very slow start. It's going to have to pick up soon though, and it has done just a little bit in the last few weeks. 15 storms so far in 2017, including 14P, which we had last week, along with Cook and Ernie. Ernie reaching category 5 on Force 13's analysis. The report for that will be out soon. So here are the upcoming storm names. The Atlantic, a familiar setup from 2011 and of course 2005, those same old names. East Pacific also from those years, and the Central Pacific names are all there as well. I'm not going to read them out at this time, it would be here forever, but just reaching the end of list 4, Walaka, the last name there. West Pacific, you may find these storms familiar from 2011 and 2012, including the first ever storm updates from Force 13 in the West Pacific, covering Dock Shuri and Canoon, if you remember those were our first updates. There's the North Indian Ocean list there as well. Australia, as you can see, we've had a few storms there already, Debbie and Ernie being the 2 big hitters recently. Southwest Indian Ocean has been a little bit quiet, except for Inaro, of course, and Dinero and Carlos doing their bit, and Fiji with only Bart and Cook. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com and its tracker at your service at any time. You can also find us on YouTube, search Force 13 if you're not there already, subscribe if you haven't. You can find us on Facebook, search Force 13 all in text, and you can do the same for Twitter. The handle is @Force13 if you'd like to get in touch with us on there. You can also add Fool13 on Skype, FOOL13, and add extension 9094 on Discord for tropical weather chat.